Okay, I just want to say a couple of things. Welcome to the session. This is covering the MA in Conflict Resolution and Mediation. My name is David. I'm from the Lowy International School. I'll take about 5 or 10 minutes at the very beginning just to give you an overview. I'm delighted we have the lineup including Corey, who's the program director. We also have 2 program graduates that are joining us for the session to give their take on the program. We have Mike Doer. Hi, Mike. Delighted to have you here from the States. And we have Martha Hewitson from the UK. Delighted to have you here, Martha. So everyone, we're just going to begin. I do want to let you know that we are recording this session and we are live streaming it as well on our LinkedIn page as well. But what I think we'll do is after we've done our my presentation and Corey and Mike and Martha, we can do a Q&A session. And what we normally do then is actually switch off the live stream and the recording as well. So you're welcome to ask questions openly. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to begin by playing a short video. It's just about 2 minutes, and it's called Taoism, and it just sums up our Taoism as our philosophy that you study best through experience. So let me play. There we go.
Tel Aviv University International, the only place in the world where you can study Taoism. What is Taoism? Well, it's a local philosophy that says the best way to study is through experience. Understand with your head, learn with your feet. The best way to study a multicultural society is to live in one. Be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you'll meet on campus. If you want to learn the best marketing strategies, just go to the local market. Reading about the Startup Nation? Write your own chapter. Study literature in the place that inspired the bestseller of all time. You can't resolve a conflict until you witness one. At TAU, there is always room for more questions and 400 labs to find the answers. Come experience the wisdom of Taoism at Tel Aviv University International, where first-class education meets a second-to-none lifestyle.
Oops. Okay. Let me just get my slide deck. Okay, now if you heard in the video, they refer to us as Tel Aviv University International, which was our name for a large number of years until last month, where we renamed ourselves the Lowy International School. So I'll take about 5 or 10 minutes and just give you a brief overview of the Lowy International School and Tel Aviv University to those of you who don't know much about us or you may never have been here before. So Taoism is our philosophy that, you study best through experience. You learn with your head, you understand with your feet, and learning happens everywhere and sometimes where, you least expect it. So when you come to us, you don't just learn in a classroom, you learn in a city, in a country, in a campus as well. And all of these things will create this wonderful transformative experience that we call Taoism. So this gives a good snapshot of TAU, where Israel's one of Israel's largest and most comprehensive institutions of higher education. We have 30,000 total students, and of that, 2,000 plus are international students that come from 100 plus countries. Typically, we can have 40% come from North America and the rest come from all over the world. all the other regions, Latin America, Europe, Asia, Australia, as well as the international community here in Tel Aviv. You heard in the video that, we have 125 schools and departments, 9 faculties, 400 labs. We truly are a multidisciplinary institution of academic excellence. We're also in Tel Aviv, this wonderful city of Tel Aviv. It's the second largest technology sector in the world. And TAU is the innovation hub of the startup nation. You also heard in the film that we have 400 labs. We also have 130 research institutions, 3,500 projects annually, 15,000 international alumni. So we're a big institution. Very proud of that. So I won't go into all of them, but there's a couple I do want to point out. Like I said, we're the #1 choice among Israeli students. We're also top 100 innovation universities by Reuters. We're ranked 5th in the world for entrepreneurship. We are the only non-US institution to make that top 10 list. So we are ranked up there along with universities such as Stanford, MIT, UC Berkeley, and Harvard. We're in the top 10 schools producing VC-backed founders. And again, the only non-US institution to make that top 10 list. 55% of the population on campus are women. We're very proud of that. Just in 2021, almost 2 years ago, the university set up its very first Equality and Diversity Commission that's headed up by Professor Netta Ziv, and her remit is clear. It's to increase equality and diversity among all the populations on campus. So, I mentioned we're a big multidisciplinary institution of academic excellence, and our impact is felt large and wide. There's 9 faculties, and that creates a vast range of research and teaching fields that, allows a fascinating connection between disciplines that are traditionally not connected to each other. And that in itself provides infinite possibilities for creativity. We have world-class faculty, renowned professors. Every year, our students perform over 300,000 hours of community service. And we're based in Tel Aviv, this wonderful Mediterranean city of Tel Aviv that we all call home, which leads me on to this. So Tel Aviv, if you've not been here before, it's a great place. It's a pulsating, vibrant city. It's Israel's cultural and commercial capital. It's been named the Mediterranean capital of cool by the New York Times. It's a non-stop city with amazing nightlife, cuisine, cultures, and areas, and it's a city you can never stop exploring. The slogan of the city is non-stop, and our slogan here at the Lowy International School is non-stop discovery. So we're very proud to be based here in Tel Aviv. Oops. Just a snapshot of some alumni that are making an impact in their fields. This is our World Changer community. Like I mentioned, we're 15,000 strong international alumni and 200,000 strong overall. You'll see lots of people here in the world of business. Like I said, entrepreneurship and innovation is very much part of our DNA. But we also have other people like Yotam Ottolenghi, a very famous chef and author, Ronit Sachi, who developed a new way to treat melanoma through a nano vaccine. So just a snapshot of some key alumni. You'll also hear afterwards, we have 2 amazing alumni joining us here of the actual program, Mike from the US and Marta from the UK, who will talk to you a little bit about their experiences as well. Oops. Sorry, my mouse is being very, very sticky. So, in addition to being this big institution, we have leading links to industry. We have institutions like Remote, the Business Engagement Center, to turn our innovations and inventions into products. There's TAU Ventures, an academic venture capital fund. We have a couple of entrepreneurship clubs on campus that some are run by students for students. We have these amazing events that happen on campus every year. Annual Cyber Week and Artificial Intelligence Week. And these really are, the go-to events for experts in the world of, cyber and AI. We have people here from usually about 9,000 delegates from more than 80 countries for an entire week. They're coming here to discuss the latest innovations in these areas. Okay, so the Student Life team, if there's one thing I want you to take away from, of course, this wonderful program that you'll hear more about and the wonderful opportunities there, it's our Student Life team. We call them madrachim, which is the Hebrew word for guide or counselor. And they're there very much to give you a nice soft landing. So they're all Israeli students. They all study with us, but they also work for us as well. So they're there on arrival day. They organize orientation. They live in the dorms with you. They are your go-to people for any issues or support you need. You need someone to help you because you don't speak Hebrew, and you need someone to help you speak to the bank because you've lost your bank card or if you lost your travel card. They are your go-to people. There's a team of 6. They're always available. Their 24/7 phone number, plus they live in the dorms and they're always in our office every day. In addition to that, they'll actually have some amazing events. They do social events on campus like pizza night, movie night, yoga night, in addition to taking you off with all of the other international students from all the programs on some amazing overnight excursions in the north, in the south, day trips in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem. So they're there very much to, when you come to us, you very much join our family. And although we have 2,000 international students, we do get to know quite a lot of them very well. And this feeling of community extends through, like I said, we have our own dorms on campus as well. What we try and do is we have a couple of towers, in this picture is of the Brushim dorms, which is just adjacent to campus. So we try and keep all of the international students together, but at the same time, you're surrounded by Israeli students. So you do get the best of both worlds. And of course, it's an amazing place, 24-hour security. There's a small supermarket, there's some shops nearby. They don't do meal plans here, but all of the dorms have their own kitchen. So it's also a great way for you to, to make new friends over food. And we have some pictures here of the dorms. So you can see they have their own kitchens, they have laundry facilities, social rooms, some quiet rooms to study. There's also a creche there. There's also a small gym there as well. So it's a nice place, and they're literally just adjacent to campus. You can come out of the dorms and be on campus within 5 minutes. So before I pass over, I do just want to mention that in addition, we have in total about 60 programs here, all taught in English, from high school gap programs to undergrad, grad, PhD, postdocs, plus short-term courses in the summer. So students literally can come to us post-high school and matriculate their entire way throughout their higher education journey. So I just want to say that's me finished. So thank you very much for listening to me. I'm going to stay on the rest of the webinar and answer any questions if it's relating to housing, student life, even scholarship information as well. We have a couple of amazing scholarships for next year that I do want to let people know about. So thank you very much. I'll hand over to Corey. Corey, did you want me to, I can play your program.
Please play the video. Yeah, I didn't line it up. So yeah, go ahead.
Let me have it here. Bear with me.
So this is the program video.
Which was just new, done a couple of months ago.
Last year.
Oops. There we go. There we go. Oh. Hi.
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 Tel Aviv University is one of the top research institutes in Israel.
One of the most fascinating places in terms of conflict management, where you can relate practice and theory at the same time.
Tel Aviv is in the heart of Middle East, so it has a lot of character and culture to it, and you genuinely get to study from all the different sides.
You'll study from world-renowned practitioners and scholars in the field.
I really enjoy that I get the opportunity not to just approach things from a theoretical perspective. I also get to learn to apply them practically.
People come from all over the world. That means that everybody brings their own knowledge and their own background into the class.
We have people from diplomacy backgrounds, legal backgrounds, backgrounds in literature and the arts, and it makes for a really fascinating group of people to learn about this conflict with.
To learn to analyze a conflict from a variety of standpoints, be it international law, international relations, political science, negotiations, religion.
The lecturers have not only experience in teaching and researching about conflict, but also in practicing. I think that's what makes the whole difference.
Religious approaches to conflict, political approaches to conflict. You also have experiences in international law.
Negotiation skills, because it reshaped the way I thought of how to negotiate with other people, especially if they come from different cultural backgrounds.
So the course has a strong component of connecting theory and practice, and thus the students are equipped with the necessary skills to analyze problems and also to bring change in society.
Well, if you want to learn conflict resolution, Israel's the best place to do it.
Thank you, David.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Corey.
Okay, now I got to share. Okay, where am I here? Let's see, it'll work. Yes, great. Oops. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just move stuff out of the way so I can actually read it. Okay, so let me go back. Hi, everybody. My name is Corey Gill-Schuster. I'm the director of the program. I'm the person you're going to be dealing with when you apply for the program, and I'll explain everything that the program is about and what you need to know. So this is a one-year program. It's about 10 months, over 3 semesters in total. You can actually finish it in 2 semesters if you want. Everything is taught in English, and the idea of the program is to be as interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary as possible, to teach you how to understand conflict analysis, and hopefully how to solve conflicts around the world. We really we try to approach conflict from a very practical standpoint. Israel is an amazing country where you can get knowledge from almost anyone you meet, both Palestinians and Israelis. You can ask them their opinions about almost anything, and you get a lot of very practical experience on how to deal with different types of conflicts. We have a strong emphasis on skills development along with that, and how to understand the field in which conflict analysis is done. So, sorry, next. The courses themselves are very interdisciplinary. In the first semester, you have a series of courses on understanding why there are conflicts around the world. We look at it from political science approaches, social psychological approaches, international law, and religion and culture. You have a course in each of those. You don't have to necessarily be an expert in any of those. You get a solid theoretical understanding of how conflict and how theory plays into conflict. In the second and third semester, the courses become a bit more multidisciplinary. They mix the political, psychological, sociological, economic, and legal in different ways. So such courses as, sorry, I'm blanking on the one, of environment and conflict, game theory, leadership and conflict, different ways of understanding and looking at conflicts in general. Along with that, you learn how to solve conflicts in a very practical way. You learn courses such as negotiation. We have a mediation workshop, which is a solid 2 weeks of learning how to mediate, and courses related to facilitation as well. So you're taking the theory that you're learning in the courses in your first and second semester and really applying skills to how to resolve those conflicts. In general, the students who come to us are from a variety of backgrounds, from everything from political science, social psychology, international relations, and even areas such as business, law, and the arts. You can really use this program to help you find the jobs that you're looking for, or the job you might currently have, and how to apply theory of understanding conflicts around the world, and even conflicts within organizations. So where do our graduates work? The most common area is in government. That's what we're going to be talking about with two of our alumni today. Also, a common area is in the NGO, IGO world. So we have students who currently work in United Nations or different local NGOs, in nonprofits as well, think tanks, and in consulting capacities. So we have students who work, for example, for Visa credit card, doing analysis of conflict zones for private businesses, private corporations, or as well in analysis about conflicts around the world in actual think tanks, academic think tanks as well. And a lot of our students go on to do PhDs, go to law school. We've had a few who went on to medical school as well. So I'm going to introduce our, how do I unshare? I hate these things, stop sharing. I'm going to introduce the two previous students that we have here. We have Mike Dewar and Martha Hewitson. Let's start with, Martha, are you still on? Because you were having some technical issues.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's start. Actually, we're going to start with you, just in case we do have technical issues. If you can you explain what you're doing today and how did the program help get you where you wanted to be?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, good to be here. My name's Martha Hewitson. I came and did the course in 2018, 2019. And I now work for the UK government as a policy advisor in renewable energy. And I think when I sort of first decided to do the course, it was because I wanted to be in Israel. I wanted to do a master's. I wanted to learn more about the conflict and Middle East. And I didn't sort of anticipate, I think, how I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. But I didn't anticipate how the skills I would gain would really help me in my career. But it really did. And I think the main things that I got from the course were the really practical parts of the course. So the sort of facilitation, the mediation, the negotiations. Those are the things, the skills that I learned in those courses, kind of understanding positions and interests, and sort of how to get people in a group, how to get a group of people in a room and kind of create a space where you can sort of solve things together, which is sort of what I do in my job now. So my job is all about kind of identifying issues in renewable energy and the sort of renewable energy landscape in the UK, and trying to kind of get the right people in a room together to solve those problems, create a range of solutions and present those to ministers. And yeah, the course is so brilliant in that it has the kind of theoretical side, but it also has such a strong emphasis on practical skills, which is something I think is really unique to this master's. After kind of doing a little bit of research on other similar masters, I think the thing that's really unique is the practical side of it. So yeah, for me, I think those mediation, negotiation, and facilitation have been the most helpful thing in sort of my career so far.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. So in your job, can you think of, there was a time in the work that you're doing now that you thought, I learned this I know how to do, or this is really helpful, or any theory or any practical skill that helped you? And it could even be negotiating the job, the salary for your job. It's all legitimate.
Yeah, so I quite often have to do sort of roundtable events and sort of deal with quite difficult stakeholders who kind of know that they want different things, completely different things, and I'm kind of trying to and a lot of the time when you're in a room of stakeholders who kind of all want to have their say, it's a lot of kind of, I suppose, moaning and not so much, and it's quite hard often to kind of create a space where it's kind of solutions that are being found rather than just moans. And so I think whenever I kind of put on one of these roundtables, I do the planning the way I was taught in the facilitation and mediation workshops that I did, and negotiation workshops that I did as part of the masters. So I sit down, I kind of map out all the kind of stakeholders we have. I map out all of their kind of what they want to gain, what their sort of red line, what I think their kind of red lines are, what a kind of good outcome would be for them, what a good outcome would be for us, and sort of really. So I suppose a lot of my planning when I'm going into those stakeholder situations has all of those skills came from the masters.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Mike.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
hi,
everyone.
Mike. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes.
And tell us where you're working now.
Yeah. So my name is Mike Dewar. I did the program 2015, 2016. And I work now for the U.S. Department of State as a program manager. I manage our education cooperation agreements with several different countries for several of our educational programs, some student exchange programs and others. So some of you may have heard about the Fulbright program fellowship. That's one of the programs. I don't directly manage, but I manage the agreements that we have with nations, other countries, to send our Fulbright scholars abroad. A lot of what Martha said, I agree with totally about what the program meant for me and why I chose the program, what I got out of it. I'll kind of tell a little story, because as I was applying for grad school programs, as you learned from David, Tel Aviv University has a large amount of international programs for master's students. And one of them was security and diplomacy. And at this time, I was actually working as a contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense in Israel. I was working in Israel, working with a lot of DOD and Department of State and Ministry of Defense officials. And I was talking to one of my colleagues about, I'm applying for grad school at Tel Aviv University. I'm looking at the security and diplomacy program, as well as this conflict resolution mediation program. And my colleague was like, "Oh, you got to do the conflict resolution mediation program." I was like, because I was kind of leaning more towards security and diplomacy. He's like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, you want to go into government, you want to do diplomatic stuff, security and diplomacy sounds great, but you said," and I tell students this today, when you go to Washington, D.C., and you say, "Oh, I got a master's in security and diplomacy," people are going to just look at you and be like, "Okay," like, those are two very ambiguous terms in a city built on national security and diplomacy issues and politics. But conflict resolution mediation, those are very specific terms. People know what those things are, and they know the value that can bring to the table if someone has that experience and academic knowledge. And he told me, people also have a misrepresentation or idea, not necessarily negative, but of what that is. And so he really kind of pushed me go do that work. And it really did. I think along the lines with Martha, I don't think there's a day that goes by in my job that I'm not utilizing something I learned in the program in my day-to-day work. And it comes from all the way from interpersonal, resolving that issue, all the way to managing the multi-party negotiations and agreements and trying to corral and build and facilitate problem solving. Because ultimately, and this is what I've told employers and potential interviews or networking or whatever, is knowing the practicalness of being a problem solver in the real sense of doing it either at an interpersonal level all the way to at an organizational level. And there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of depth that goes into that understanding and being able to facilitate and build relationships and solve problems that this program covers in a very wide, diverse way, but in a very meaningful way. So to this day, I think I still have conversations with a handful of my professors I still talk about what I learned from the social psychological approaches to conflict resolution with Dr. Khan, or with political approaches to conflict resolution with Dr. Klein. And I think, and Martha, I think you agree, like our international law class with Daniel Reisner was always a popular one. And like I'm very glad that I'm still in contact with him. So I can't recommend the program enough for any of you. If you are looking into understanding what it really means to be a mediator, what the opportunities really means for you when it comes to being a mediator, but then also understanding the complexity of conflict resolution beyond, I think, kind of the general understanding of alternative dispute resolutions and peace building, which you all will cover and learn about, but how you can apply that to almost everything that you do. And like I said, I use it every single day. I think the biggest lesson I learned is moving from position to interest. You will learn about that more depth in the program, but if you can understand and move everything that you do in conversations with people from position to interest, you're solving problems.
Thanks, Mike. That was great. Thanks so much. We're at 5:30, so Israel time. A few things I want to mention, which I didn't mention before you guys ask about this. We'll get your questions in a quick second. I just also want to mention that we do a lot of course and program trips to really expose you guys to elements of conflict, places of conflict in the area, safe places, don't worry, but places where we can illustrate what conflict looks like. We really try to take you to places where it's a little difficult for you guys to go. So we take you on buses to a few places around the country. We strongly recommend doing an internship. We have a practicum course in the second semester, or doing an internship just for your own needs, not getting course credit for it, but just wanting to do an internship. And if you go on our website, you can see places that our students have done internships with. And the other thing to mention is we have a new collaboration agreement with Johns Hopkins University in Bologna. It's an international relations MA degree. They're normally a two-year degree. If you take our program or some of the programs in our at Tel Aviv University, you can take their program in 1 year. So you get two MAs. They're separate MAs. They're not one MA. Two separate MAs in 2 years. So just so you know, it's on our website as well. Further information. I would love to open this up to questions.